The following podcast is recorded and produced by the Podcast Precinct in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com. The Podcast Precinct. Consistency, creativity, culture.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Retroactive Sports Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Andrew Lenz, and joining me is
from Parts Unknown.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. From Parts Unknown, from Death Valley, Venice Beach, Chicago, Illinois. I'm trying to think of other people's stuff. Johnny,
the Crusher Townsend.
I was trying to remember your backyard name.
Yeah.
The man who is here to make a wrestling card and chew bubblegum and is all out of bubblegum.
That's right. No more bubblegum to be chewed. So it's time to make a wrestling card of all wrestling cards. This is part 2.
Yes.
If you listen to the previous episode, Andrew and I did a draft of 2 different eras of pro wrestling, from the Attitude Era and the Classic Era.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to take all these names. We're going to make, each of us is going to try to put on a show with these names. We're going to book the show. We're going to decide who fights who from our cards and just have some fun with it, I think.
Yeah. I had some really good ones, and then I was like, you know what? Looking back at my picks, I think I got a couple I kind of regret, but it is what it is, and I had to go. So, without further ado, Johnny, do we want to pick arenas where we're at?
Oh, man, I don't know this stuff well enough to say. Mine's in the Charlotte Hornets arena.
Okay, I was just going to say.
Oh, the Greensboro one. Greensboro is a big wrestling one.
I think that's the way we should do it, because I was going to say Madison Square Garden for me. I'm from the north. Johnny's from Crockett country, as it's so well known. So it's funny that you did say Greensboro Arena, but my show is getting booked at MSG in Greensboro.
Those are 2 very different places.
Those are, but
in pro wrestling, they're both very important.
Yeah, it's very iconic. Very iconic. What's the other one that Cornette talks about all the time? Memphis, that I don't think exists anymore. Or the Sportatorium in Dallas.
The Sportatorium even has its own T-shirt. Yeah,
I found out very depressing because I looked it up one time. Has been torn down. So
yeah,
I will never be able to go to the Sportatorium.
Well, you can go to where it was.
Yeah, is that the same though?
I mean, it's still hallowed ground to us, right?
Yeah. Any place where the Von Erichs have been is hallowed ground.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and
where Booker T got to start. But Johnny, would you like to go first for your?
Let's do our. I'm going to start with the main event, work my way down.
Oh, see, I'm going to go the other way then, because that's what we do. We do.
Yeah, we do it backwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My main event, obviously, Stone Cold has to be the main event.
Okay.
You have Stone Cold, you're not going to put him anywhere but the main event. And I have a couple of names that I couldn't put him up against, but I think the huge matchup here would be Stone Cold versus Macho Man.
I would like that.
Would that not be great? Just the program leading up to it would be awesome.
The match
would be great. The 2 amazing workers here. And oh man, see, here's the thing though. Who would I have win this? That's the trouble for me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, are we picking who's going over?
Yeah, see, that's tough. Obviously, they're both going to get their finish off, because I have to see that elbow and I have to see that stunner.
If I had to pick one for you, because we'll probably definitely do this, because we always like to do this.
Yeah,
I would put Stone Cold over. I think Macho Man would be cool, because I've heard, listen to Jim Cornette when he would go to Smoky Mountain and he was like, "Hey, you're going to put me up against your top heel. Just let him win over me, because I'm not coming back here."
Yeah.
So I think Macho Man would be cool, because he would understand how big Hogan is. Or no,
yeah.
Sorry.
Well, it's Stone Cold. Yeah. And he also understands the business, I think. Yeah. So I agree with you. I think Stone Cold's going to win, but it's going to be, but they're going to kick out of each other's finishers once.
Does Stone Cold share a beer with Macho Man at the end? Or does he
1,000,000%.
pour the beer on him?
No, shares it. Shares
Okay.
it.
Okay. I like that one. So I'm gonna start from the bottom of my card. My first match is Adrian Adonis, and I want the not adorable, just I want the cool looking Adrian Adonis, New Yorker guy in the leather jacket, and he's gonna go up against Triple H.
Oh,
And I kind of just did this because they were the last two together. And I think it would just kind of be fun because Adrian's a great worker. Triple H is a great worker. I think maybe Triple H is a little bit better on the mic from what I understand than Adrian, but I think you're going to have one hell of a match. And I would put Triple H over on Adrian.
yeah. I can't argue with any of that. That's really good. I think I'm going to win you over with my next match, though.
Who you got?
I'm going to have Sting go 101
With Stang?
with the man who hates Goldberg, Bret
Oh,
Hart, in a submission match.
I like your
Loser can't do their finisher anymore.
That would be awesome.
Would I not rule?
Oh my goodness. Who would you have go over?
And you have to win by submission.
Just by submission, or you got to win by sharpshooter or deathlock?
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah,
Okay.
by submission. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
For those who don't know, they're the same move.
They are because I think Bret Hart took the deathlock from Sting.
I don't remember who did it first out of those two, honestly. But two iconic guys on top of that. I think they seem to have a lot of respect for each other from things I've seen and heard. This one will be very tough.
Because his name isn't Goldberg.
Or Hulk Hogan. He also hates Hulk Hogan. But that's a lot of people, apparently. Here's my reasoning for this. I'm going to give it to Bret Hart going over because Sting still has that reverse DDT move he could do.
Oh, the Scorpion Death Drop and the Stinger Splash.
Yeah, he still has those iconic moves. Bret was just such a really amazing technical wrestler, but like he's got to have that finish, I think, to be Bret, in my opinion. So Bret's going to win, but this is going to be like a hour-long match.
So
between these two,
of course, being the dork that I am, I did look this up. Ronnie Garvin and Sting were the first well-known wrestlers to do it, and I guess Pat Patterson during Bret's singles push at the beginning asked him if he could do the Scorpion Deathlock. I'm sorry, I had to look that up. All right, so the next match on my card is the Iron Sheik versus Goldberg. One guy that I guess you could say can talk. Iron Sheik, but I think this would be great because I think you got like old school Iron Sheik is just so strong.
Yeah.
And I think that would be great to see. Not like, what was he, Colonel Mustafa or something like that?
Right.
At one point, like actual Iron Sheik that could move before he was just rampant cocaine and crack abuse. But I would like to see Goldberg and Iron Sheik, and I'm gonna give this one also to the Attitude Era. Goldberg wins.
Yeah, I think Goldberg has to win this one. Yeah. All right. My next one is gonna be Mankind Mick Foley taking on Jake the Snake.
Ooh.
Not only I think this match would be great, but I'm really looking forward to these promos against each other.
Yes.
And my soul will not let Mick Foley lose this. So Mankind wins it. But it's going to be a great match, too, on top of that, because both these guys are really good wrestlers on top of things. And here's how I think it's going to end, right? Mick Foley wins it. They stand up to shake hands. But Jake the Snake is going to get that DDT in.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Then the music hits. All right. So my next one is one that many people know, and it's been iconic before, but I don't think it's been done when both of them are in their prime. That is the Nature Boy, Ric Flair versus the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And when I
Wow.
envision this, I envision like uh Shawn Michaels, like champion Shawn Michaels, and like was it the Flair for Gold, Ric Flair. And this is gonna be
Yeah.
some like crazy 60-minute match.
Yeah. It wouldn't be anything else. Yeah. And I still love their match when Ric Flair's going to retire, basically. That's still a great match. But yeah, wow. That's who's going over on this one?
The Nature Boy.
I'm
He's
with you.
just too big at that point. And I
Yeah.
would love to see, like this young guy who's like the heartbreak kid, not saying he's got money or anything, but he's gonna get the girls, and then Ric Flair going back at him too, saying I got the money and I got the girls and everything else, and going through like that whole spiel. A lot of the stuff I've kind of come up with promo driven, and then also in ring because I like a good promo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Rick going over HBK.
I think we're both the same when it comes to promos. All right. Speaking of promos, and also I just think that the differences and styles really help each other shine this way. One's a definite bad guy, maybe the bad guy, Scott Hall.
Ooh.
And he's going to take on like one of the most lovable baby faces of all time, and that's the Junkyard Dog.
Oh my goodness.
Think of how great and fun this match would be.
Uh,
Right? Because, I mean, everybody loves Junkyard Dog. But on top of that, Scott Hall is, if you ever actually watch his matches, his selling is really fun.
yeah.
And he has amazing facial expressions to go along with all this stuff. And he's got to throw the toothpick at Junkyard Dog to set him off.
And I think he could carry the Junkyard Dog. Like he could work.
I think so too.
Regular old power style and make Junkyard Dog look really, really good.
I agree. And he's going to cheat a lot, of course, because he's Scott Hall.
Yeah. Oh,
my problem is I love the Outsider's Edge is one of my favorite finishers of all time, but I don't think I can have him win over Junkyard Dog. So I'm going to have the dog win, but it's going to be a close one due to some shenanigans
with the thump. All right, my next one is I think you're going to really enjoy this one. Chris Jericho versus Rowdy Roddy Piper. Imagine the promos.
I'm already on board for that. Yep.
Plus the in-ring stuff that would go on in every way. And man. Wow, who would I pick to go over? I never thought about this until now. I'd probably pick Piper. I'd pick Piper.
Here's the thing about both of these guys in their prime too. A loss doesn't hurt them because they can get all their heat back.
No. I think Jericho can be a better kind of baby face if I wanted to go that way than Piper. Piper's a much better heel, even though I do love classic WCW Jericho.
But I like it. All right. Man. I'm going to go with my next one's going to be the big sexy himself, Kevin Nash, aka Super Shredder.
Yep.
Going up against. I just think it's going to be so fun because, again, Kevin Nash is really good with his facial expressions and selling and stuff like that. If he goes up with somebody who's just so weird and out of the box, like George's Animal Steel. Like, I'm just picturing.
I could see. Oh, that would be great just to watch his
expressions. Yeah, like how's he going to react when he sees, George just start eating a turnbuckle, And Kevin Nash is going over on this though. He does get the win here.
Yeah, I think there's no way that you don't. Is it going to be like a squash in a way? Like George just starts like eating the turnbuckle, and then he just walks over and gives him the kick and jackknife done.
I'm going to give George just a little bit of offense here, but he's always going to be playing from being down. That makes sense. but it's not going to be more than a 5-minute match because I think you go past that, then you're kind of hurting Kevin Nash a little bit. And I like Kevin Nash, but
My next one is Mr. Perfect versus Mr. Monday Night, Rod Van Dam.
That's
This
an
one is
interesting one.
just straight in ring. You got Rob Van Dam, who's very, very athletic, very flexible. Then you got Mr. Perfect, where he is perfect. I did not appreciate him as a child, which I should have, but once again, I didn't know the business like I do now, and none of that stuff was out. In this one, just because I love the move and I appreciate so much now, I'm gonna go with Mr. Perfect over RVD.
I love that perfect plex. I ain't gonna lie.
I gotta see the perfect plex.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's probably one of the great, in my opinion, one of the best pinning moves.
oh, it didn't he do it to the Giant?
I believe so. Yeah, he did it to a lot of people. Yeah,
Yeah, I gotta go perfect plex or go.
I'd agree with that 1,000,000%. All right, for my next match, it's gotta be Kane, of course, and I want to see him go 1-on-1 against
The
the
under.
white meat. I don't have them.
I'm sorry, wrestling reference.
Go 1-on-1 with the white meat babyface, the pilot of the Lex Express, going Kane versus Lex Luger here for this one.
I gotta hear this.
Luger's another one of those guys. Like when I was a kid, I was like, I don't care for this guy. But as I got older, and I was like, this guy's great.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I started. He was one of those for me. So, and speaking of getting people in their finishers, that's one of the fun things about Lex. And can he get this guy up in the torture rack?
Yeah.
And that's going to be what's going to go on here. Can he get Kane up in the torture rack before Kane tombstones him? That's going to be the thing here. And one of the storylines leading up to this is, guess what? Somebody mysteriously burnt down the Lex Express.
Oh, I like I like that.
Now, I am totally fine with either one of these guys winning this match.
Mm.
I'm going to say that Kane wins due to a little bit of earned interference from
Yeah,
Paul Bearer.
We got our managers. So
yeah,
I forgot to mention that. So for mine, for every Attitude Era comes out, they're coming out with Paul Heyman. And for my Golden Era, because I stole them from Johnny, I got the Brain, Bobby Heenan for my Golden Era guys.
And I have Paul Bearer for the Attitude and Captain Lou Albano for the Golden Era.
So for my next match is my first tag team match. And it is going to be Loverboy Dennis and Beautiful Bobby Eaton going up against my favorite tag team of all time, the Road Dogg Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws. I think this would be a great match, even though I don't have Cornette as a manager. I still got the Brain.
Yeah.
And I got Heyman with the Outlaws, where the attitudes kind of mix with each other there. So I think that would be great talking wise and everything else. And not so much with Road Dogg, but I think Bobby Eaton would do pretty damn good with Billy Gunn. And Bobby Eaton is very, very underrated. You sent me that clip reel of him.
Yes. Good God, he could go, right?
Yes. R.I.P. Bobby Eaton.
Criminally underrated.
Super underrated. One of the nicest guys in wrestling, too. Who do I got going over? Man, could you imagine just promos between Heenan and Heyman? I was just thinking about that too. I'm gonna put the Express over.
Oh, I like this.
I'm gonna put the Express over because you know why? Because it's kind of tie. But I know I got like Paulie Dangerously, Paul Heyman over there. But the brain always finds a way to win. So I'm going to go with the Midnight.
I like this a lot.
And I think if there was, Cornette would approve of the brain being the manager over him.
I think so too. Yeah. I'm going to do my tag match next too. So I'm going to get, this is just the match that we're going to get here. I think is going to be insane because we're going to get the Brainbusters taking on the Hardy Boys. We have like the ultimate bad guy tag team against the ultimate good guy tag team here. And just think of all the ways that the Brainbusters are going to try to cheat to win this. And then the Hardy Boys are going to be constantly fighting out of that and trying to overcome it. It's going to be amazing. In my opinion, it's going to be some really great in-ring storytelling going on here in this match.
That's so like different of styles too.
That's why I think it's going to work, because I also think all four of these guys with their different styles can sort of work with each other when it comes to their different types of styles. And we're going to get all the hits here too, of course.
Get it high enough, get that nice right through a table, that spine buster or ladder. Oh,
so I'm thinking Arn's going to put like Matt through the table with a top rope spine buster. Something I'm sure he never did, but I would love to see it. I genuinely love both these tag teams, so I'm not mad at whoever wins here. But Arn Anderson is another one of those guys who's like my heart and soul. So I got to have the Brainbusters going over here.
My next one is my other tag team, and it's going to be the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, going up against the Dudley Boys.
That's a fascinating clash there. Yeah.
This is the whole reason why I drafted these two, was because I want to see them go up against. Because when you talk about the greatest tag teams of all time, a lot of people bring up these two names. Because the Dudley Boys have won multiple tag titles. The Road Warriors were huge. But I think that would be fun, just them just dominating each other. And this is like 1980s Road Warriors, not Legion of Doom or anything like that. But I think in the end, Devon gets a doomsday device through a table and the Road Warriors win.
Oh, testify. Yeah.
Sorry,
I like that.
Sorry, Devon.
I'm about to have some fire matches on my show here, because next I'm going to have Latino Heat himself, Eddie Guerrero, taking on Owen Hart.
Wow.
Think about how great that match is going to be. Just on paper, that sounds incredible.
Wow.
That's going to, in my opinion, that's going to be one of those, I don't care who you are, it's a 5-star match.
Unless you're Dave Meltzer. Then it's
I don't care who you are.
4 3/4, which
is the same as a 5-star. Then just give it 5 stars, Dave.
It'd be one of the greatest interviews ever. I felt like I was talking to one of my kids. If you don't know what we're talking about, check out Dave Meltzer talking to Chris Van Vliet.
Yes. If you ever want to be confused at how somebody thinks, then that's a great thing to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't say who I would have go over.
Oh, because who do you have go over?
Oh, man.
Guy would be like, I think this is one of those matches.
I think there'd be such huge respect between these two.
It would be like, just you take it. No, you take it.
It's sort of like when, you're in a fresh relationship. You're like, no, you hang up. No, you hang up.
Yes. That's the way. I think that's the way it would be. Or it would be one of those things where finally they're like, let's just feel the crowd and see where it's going.
Yes, I think that too. One of my all-time favorite finishes though is when Eddie would do the fake chair shot thing. Where he would smack the chair against the ground, throw it to the guy, and fall to the ground. And I think that's how this is going to end.
I would like to see him and Owen do like a hot potato with the chair.
I love this. They try to do it to each other. Yes. Yeah. Perfect.
Because if you're going like Owen, it's almost, you could almost kind of put him to
I love this. Yes, I'm with it. Yeah.
So this one I thought of, and I think I got a great angle here. I got the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes going up against The Rock. And what this is
Oh my God. I'm just automatically thinking about the promos.
yeah, okay, but you have Hollywood. You have, The Rock, this peak physical athlete, works out every day. Then you just got the common man.
I
The,
love
the
everything
son of
about
a
this.
plumber. Like in that promo, my belly's a little bit too big, my hiney may be a little bit too big, but I'm bad, brother. And I think that would be great with the promo and them two working with each other in the ring. Like just
I
that.
just want to see The Rock take that, what he will do when he gets bionic elbowed. I just can't wait to see how he sells it.
Oh, you'd sell it great.
I know he's going to fly back 300 feet.
Oh, or Dusty getting like a people's elbow or anything, or his face getting a rock bottom. I think,
yeah,
that would be great.
who's winning this?
I'm gonna give it to The Rock in like a close one.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna give it to The Rock because I think Dusty would be like, yeah, you beat me this time, but I gave it to you, and I think The Rock may bleed. Rock may bleed. I don't know if we've ever seen The Rock bleed, but I think Dusty's gonna talk him into bleeding.
I think there'll be mutual respect shown after this too, in my opinion. That's another great match. We're having some bangers of shows, I think, here.
Yes.
Because next, I'm going to have Rey Mysterio, one of the best cruiserweights of all time, one of the best little guys in wrestling ever, going up against one of the most underrated and incredibly gifted and athletic big guys, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh man. I love when Ray faces like the big guys.
Yes, and this is a big guy who can move. I'm talking again, we're booking this as in all these guys are at their peak. So just imagine like Ray tries to do a Hurricanrana, but Bam Bam just cartwheels out of it. Just how cool would this be going back and forth with this stuff?
Cartwheel with him on there.
Oh yes. Oh man.
I'm pretty sure no offense to Rey Mysterio, but I think he's small enough where Bam Bam, because Bam Bam was big, wasn't he?
Yeah, Bam Bam was a huge guy. Tall too on top of that. And just think of how they're both going to look. They're both kind of known for iconic looks, right? Ray always would have like an iconic costume, so I couldn't wait to see what he would come up with here. And then you got that going against with Bam Bam's very iconic look.
Comes out with like an Iceman type driven uniform. Like
going against the fire guy. Yeah.
I think
I love this. Yeah. And I think I gotta keep the crowd happy and have Rey Mysterio win here.
And I think Bam Bam would be fine with that.
I think he would too.
Next one for me this is just a dream mashup, even for the first guy I'm gonna say. It's The Undertaker versus Andre the Giant.
Oh man, you could have ended your show with that.
I got a great ending for a show. I know, but Undertaker versus Andre would be amazing because at this point, Undertaker's losing. It's not like when he first came in and he was supposed to be like impervious to pain or anything like that. But to have them still be able to kind of move, like I'm looking at this Undertaker to still kind of be able to move, maybe do like the catwalk thing, walking the rope. But in the end, because it's Golden Era Andre wins. Andre takes down the Undertaker.
Wow. Because I like this.
In the end, nobody beats Andre.
Nope.
No, nobody beats Andre. And I
love this.
And I think Mr. Calloway would lay down for Andre. Without a shadow of a doubt.
I don't even think it'd be an argument. All right. So I open a match to get these people off their feet from the get-go. I'm going to have two guys, one of them being Billy Kidman, who we all know can get around, can move, can high fly, really get people excited.
You can cure
going against what?
You can cure an itch.
That's right. He sure can. He can go itching for a year and then just stop. It's magical. And land Torrie Wilson. That's all he had to do was stop itching, and look what happened.
Or was he itching because of Torrie Wilson? Oh, that was bad.
Oh man. Previous statement is not my view, just FYI. But as your friend, I'm really proud of you for that joke. I want to have him take on a very beloved character, so much so that he was even a G.I. Joe. I'm going to have Billy Kidman and Sergeant Slaughter open up my show. And Sergeant Slaughter is going to win. And you know how he's going to win? He's going to try to powerbomb Kidman. And he fails because you can't powerbomb Kidman. And Kidman's going to go up on the top rope like he's going to do a shooting star. And he tries it, but guess what? Slaughter moves, rolls out of the way. Kidman hits the ground so hard he pops up. Sergeant Slaughter pops up. Sleeper, good night. End of the match. Sergeant Slaughter's going to win this match, I believe. And America is going to be so happy.
The Cobra Clutch.
That's right. The Cobra Clutch is going to win the day. I think this is going to be a great way to open up my show.
Funny you never renamed it from like the G.I. Joe thing. Now
I know. Should have been like G.I. Joe Clutch?
Yeah. The Joe submission or something like that.
Yeah.
So my final match. Now, it's got to be Hulk Hogan because I do have Hulk Hogan. And this is babyface Hulk Hogan. And this is going up against heel Kurt Angle. Now, listen to what I was thinking here.
Okay.
This is a real American match. Who is the more real American as Kurt Angle questions Hulk Hogan? I won an Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck. I just ooze America. You are just some guy. You've done nothing for America. You've never served your country. You've never, you've gone into the Olympics. What have you done for America? I put my health on the line for America. And he questions Hulk Hogan's just love for America because it's the 80s. And Hulk Hogan's the real American. And he just questions everything about Hulk Hogan. And it is just that pure heel Kurt Angle.
I think one of the shows leading up to this, he should come out to Hulk Hogan's theme music.
Yeah.
Like I am a real and then Hulk Hogan's not there and the crowd gets mad and because it's Kurt Angle. And then the music just record scratch and it turns to the Kurt Angle theme. And he's got to rip the shirt to reveal that singlet. Yeah.
Yeah, holding up the medals, wearing a shirt that says Angle rules. He just questions like, you think you're American? I wear an American flag on my singlet. I wear American colors. You wear yellow, red and yellow and everything else. And he just questions them at every step of the way.
We got some really fun programs here.
But in the end, because I'm going to do it for the Hulkster, the Hulk goes over. Hulk proves on how much of American he is.
Yeah.
And he goes over.
Yes. I like this. And Kurt Angle can have a good match with anybody.
Oh, could you?
Yeah. So I'm all for this. I like this a lot. I think any of your last two matches could have been your main event, honestly.
I want like Kurt Angle to kind of control the match.
Yeah.
And then he goes for like the Angle Slam. And he's like, done. He's done. He's like yelling, he's done. He goes for it. But that when he hits it,
that's when Hulk Hogan hulks up.
That's when he hulks up.
Yeah.
Takes over the match.
Yeah. Love it. I love it. Well, we've done it, Andrew. If you're listening to this, who do you think has the better show? I honestly think you can't go wrong with either one.
I don't think you can go wrong. I want to see Eddie and Owen so badly right now.
I'm saying that's the one I got the most excited about.
I think that's your hidden gem match. Like
I do too.
Like that one on the mid card where you're like, oh, okay, well, I want to see the main event. And all of a sudden you're like, well, I
might as well make it for the IC title, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's how good of a match this will be. Yeah.
I would really, really like to see that.
Yeah, I think I got a lot of little hidden gems like that, but very excited for either one of these. I think watching either one of these shows would be just a great time, honestly. Just watching it with your buddies, getting some friends together, eating pizza, watching an awesome wrestling pay-per-view.
Yeah, and if you want to leave your thoughts on anyone's, send us a message, leave us a review on it or anything like that. Let us know how you feel. Now, as long as you're respectful, that's all we ask.
Yes. Yeah.
Open opinion and respectful.
Yeah, you can 100% disagree with us, but you don't have to be a jerk about it.
No, like when I put up a post about baseball and people just comment baseball is lame, you could have kept on scrolling.
Yeah, you don't have to. Well, that's how it is today, though. People are more likely to comment on stuff they don't like instead of commenting on stuff they do.
Yes.
Which makes no sense to me, but that's how people are in general.
Some people got to do something. Marty Jannetty.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't watched that Dark Side, have you?
No, but I've listened to Cornette review it.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna realize some fun, interesting things.
Yeah, I already knew he was a character, as they say. Yeah.
Yeah, has a very interesting take on himself. Get to see a lot of Al Snow. Get to see a lot of Al Snow.
That's what really kind of fascinated me about that.
Yeah, you get to see Al Snow. So that made it worth it right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I do love Al Snow. Yeah.
And I agree with him about Beefcake's wife. Like, I've never heard of her or seen her before. And then all of a sudden she's like there for this one.
Yeah, he did talk about that a lot. I haven't seen it, so I don't know, but you would think like Cornette, especially, is just hardcore intertwined in wrestling, that he would have at least, even if he didn't know her, at least be aware of her.
Yeah. I had no idea about her. But it was kind of interesting. But that is it. So check us out, Facebook. Gonna start YouTubing back again with the Tecmo Super Bowl season. Johnny and I got some other stuff planned for that as well. And with that being said, Monday Night Raw. See you next week. Oh, we gotta go. That's what it is. I want to do my.
We're out of time.
We're out of time. We gotta go.